This is Roger Hebard and his sweet wife Elizabeth. Tonight we're in Matthew. We're going to hear what Jesus is saying, and we can take that to the bank. In other words, that's what we base our belief system on, and we don't have any unbelief. By the way, that verse last night I was looking for in the King James Version when the disciples said, "Why can't we do this?" Jesus said to them, "It's because of your unbelief." It's not, in the King James Version it has it right. It's not because of your little faith, it's because of your unbelief. So we're not going to have any unbelief. We're going to believe everything he says. So who is the greatest? At that time, the disciples came to Jesus saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And calling to him a child. Isn't that great? He put him in the midst of them and said, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck, and he's cast into and drowned in the depth of the sea." In other words, God doesn't want us to make our brothers stumble, especially little children. Woe to the world about temptation to sin. Woe to the world for temptation to sin, for it is necessary that temptation come. I wonder why that is, but I guess it's a test for us. But anyway, but woe to the one by whom the temptation comes. I could give you a good example of that a while ago at lunch, but I'm not going to. But believe me, I had to turn my eyes away. And that's right. Yeah, you don't want to be tempted. And if your hand or your foot causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life crippled or lame than with 2 hands or 2 feet to be thrown into the eternal fire. And if one eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than with 2 eyes to be thrown into the hell of fire. So he doesn't want us to sin. The parable of the lost sheep. See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven. You know, in the 91st Psalm it says that his angels will bear us up with their hands lest we cast our foot against a stone. So we have angels watching over us. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go into search of the one and went astray? And if he finds it, truly I say to you, he rejoices even more over the 99 that never went astray. So it is not the will of my Father who is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. You know, over there in 2 Peter, it says God is merciful and not wanting that any should perish. And that's why he holds off the coming of the destruction that's going to eventually come. If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take 1 or 2 others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church, and if he refuses to listen even to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. Truly I say to you, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say to you, if 2 of you agree on the earth about anything they ask, it will be done for them by my Father who is in heaven. For where two or three are gathered in my name, there I am among them. The parable of the unforgiving servant. Then Peter came up and said to him, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times? Jesus said to him, I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his servants. When he began to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. And since he could not pay, his master ordered him to be sold and his wife and children and all that he had and payments to be made. So the servant fell on his knees, imploring him, have patience with me and I will pay you everything. And out of pity for him, the master of that servant released him and forgave him the debt. But then the same servant went out. He found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii and seizing him and began to choke him and saying, pay what you owe. So his fellow servant fell down and pleaded with him, have patience with me and I will pay you. He refused and went and put him in prison until he should pay the debt. When his fellow servants saw what had taken place, they were greatly distressed, and they went and reported to their master all that had taken place. Then his master summoned him and said to him, you wicked servant, I forgave you all the debt because you pleaded with me, and should not you have had mercy on your fellow servant? My friends, listen. God is this merciful King who has forgiven us of mucho sins. And you know that. And so we want to be forgiving to others as he has forgiven us. Okay? Because he said you should have had mercy. And in anger, his master delivered him to the jailers until he should pay all of his debt. So also may the Heavenly Father will do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother from your heart. Okay, so we want to be sure and be a forgiving, loving person. And I know that's sometimes very difficult.